Swain Event time!
My man.
It is time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Give me 2 shots and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. 865-255-03 is our telephone number here on the Swain Event. Swain Event is brought to you by, again, Dead End Barbecue, our hotline, the Garza Law hotline for you to call in. That number is 865-255-03. You can use the Swain Event app for Apple devices. You can throw in comment, questions there in the text box. We will hit that up throughout the show. I'm Jason Swain, live here from the Low T Center studio, and joining us, my man Jared Gantano, filling in for Ben McKee today. JG, what's up, man?
Swain, what's up, brother? Appreciate you for having me.
Oh, absolutely, man. I knew this time would come, man, to be able to sit and chit chat with you. Do this show together. I know, man, I was covering you 2016 when you became of all, and then 2017 is when you got the opportunity to hit the field as a starting quarterback. You got a chance to learn from Josh Dobbs, and then you got your opportunity. And just like most athletes at the collegiate level, man, it's not always smooth. There's up and downs, and man, you played your butt off, man. You left it on the line. You gave your all for Tennessee. You transferred out, and now it's great to have you a part of the daily conversations surrounding Tennessee football, man. So for those that have been listening to me for almost a decade, one thing I care about more than anything else is the experience our former players have and how they feel about the university when they live here. And it's so good to see you back connected. It's so good to see a lot of other former players back on campus when I'm at the game, working the game, and I look forward to seeing you in person. But, man, it's good to have you connected back to Tennessee football, man.
No, you hit it spot on, Swain, and I appreciate you again. I wanted to make it so evident when I was playing in the games, when I was playing for the University of Tennessee, how much I really cared about the fan base, the fans, my team, just the Power T. I wanted to make it so evident that was the biggest thing in my life at that time. And now, over the course of some years, there were some ups and downs, obviously some mental stuff, trying to figure out if the university, the fans, everybody still loved me, if there was still anything there for me. Nothing ever really wavered for me throughout that time, just because I knew how special of a place it was and how much it meant in my heart. And now, going back to it a couple years later, some NFL stuff, UFL stuff, playing football, I just wanted to make it as evident coming back into the fold with the University of Tennessee and this fan base that it never left my heart. And the things that I do, I want to do at the University of Tennessee, right? It was really my first love coming into college, coming out of college, even in high school, it was my love. So the Power Team means a lot to me. And going forward, I would love to continue doing more stuff with the University of Tennessee and with people like you who have Tennessee orange running through their blood and their veins, and how important it is to you. So once again, I appreciate you for having me, brother. And I can't thank you enough for the opportunity.
Yeah, man. So for those that don't know, I know a lot of people do know, you've been doing a really good job of breaking down the film. And you've created your YouTube channel. You have smash a landmark that will allow you to do some bigger things there with your channel. And if you are listening right now, go to Jared's YouTube page and subscribe. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and continue to follow Jared as he continues to break down film. I think you do a great job. And when you play the position of quarterback, it's not only knowing what you're doing, you got to know what your offensive line's doing, your running backs, your tight ends, your receivers, and you have to know what the defense is doing. And so you have a different perspective than most guys who have played this game, because you got to know what all 22 guys are doing, including yourself. And so quarterbacks always are the best at film study and break it down. And I just think it's great that you have a platform that allow people to learn and listen to you talk ball and look at certain plays through your eyes and through your lenses. And so please, if you're listening, go subscribe to Jared's YouTube page, and he does a great job with the film study. First, man, how do you handle a bye week? Tennessee right now, coming off a bye week. Last week, Arkansas. Last week was Mississippi State. This week, Arkansas. But got a chance to get a bye week, get some good rest in. What do you remember about your time handling the bye week?
I'd start off by saying this too, Swain. I think that this is as much of a needed bye week as a team could have, coming off of a very stressful game and a very stressful couple of weeks with a big letdown in a game where we felt like we should have won. So I feel like this bye week came perfectly right before this storm hits in these next couple of weeks with very tough games. I remember our bye weeks. Obviously, I had different coaching staffs, but most of the time our bye weeks were filled with a lot of positional emphasis, some emphasis on just structure, on what you need to particularly get better at, you personally. And also it was a big time for rest, right? As much as anything possible, we had massage chairs, we had everybody in the cold tubs, we had stretching sessions in the weight room. We had also weight room sessions trying to get our bodies back stronger. This week is really important for the body as well as the mind, right? A lot of guys get away for the weekend, whether they go home, whether they just go on an hour trip. Maybe they're going to Gatlinburg. Maybe they're going to the Smoky Mountains just to maybe just to breathe a little bit. Because, listen, college football is stressful. You know it, Swain. College football is super stressful. You got to deal with school. You got to deal with football throughout the season, waking up early, going to sleep late. It's a lot going on in a college kid's life. So this bye week couldn't have came at a perfect time. I remember as a player also, a lot of the younger guys getting a lot of reps. So throughout the season, typically coaches don't have much time to spend with the younger guys, the guys that aren't playing. So this week is kind of devoted to them. I remember even at my year at Washington State, they used to have a couple of like bowl games. They treated it as like with the underclassmen, the freshmen, just good on good, driving the field, competition, whoever won. It was pretty cool. Whoever won got steaks, whoever lost got cheeseburgers and hot dogs. So there was some sort of level of competition throughout the week for the younger kids, which allowed the upperclassmen to kind of coach them, have fun with it a little bit. It's kind of just like going to see a JV game in high school. You remember how that was. So the bye weeks were really good. As a team, it's good as a collective, just everybody just breathe, and also looking forward to the next game. Coaches are able to get in front of not just the next week's game, they can get in front of the next 2-3 weeks film study-wise. So it just allows a little bit of comfort for the week, and obviously we know as a Tennessee Vol, we have some of our biggest games coming up to finish this season, so we got to be super, super locked in and ready to go at the tail end of this year.
Man, I'm looking forward to this weekend because the first 6 weeks of college football, Tennessee's offense right now is number 1 in the country in scoring, 51 points per game. You look at the yards per game, which scoring is way more important than the yards per game. It doesn't matter how many yards that you're putting up unless you're putting points on the board. But, Tennessee, number 1 in the country at points per game. And over the course of those 5 or 6 games, you have shown some tendencies of how you handle third down medium, how you handle third down and long, what you like on first down, what you like, around midfield, what you like when you're backed up. And other teams have logged that. They have charted your tendencies. And one of my favorite things about coming off a bye week is we get a chance to see how well we self-scouted and the adjustments that we are going to make after the bye week. This game, Jared, is so fascinating because Arkansas fired the coach, Sam Pittman. And now the players have to continue to play after their coach is fired. Now, you went through that where your head coach was fired mid-season. What was the, I guess, reaction in the locker room when that news broke? How did you handle hearing a different voice be the main voice? Was it a breath of fresh air? Was it a letdown? Because I'm trying to figure out how the Arkansas players are going to handle now that Bobby Petrino is the head coach. You dealt with that. I didn't deal with that as a player where a head coach got fired mid-season, but you did. How did you handle that? How did your team handle that? How do you think Arkansas players will handle it?
Yeah, it's a very tough scenario. So when you really get down to it, for a young kid, at that time I was 18, 19 years old, and the coach that I had committed to and I had believed in had gotten fired. So me personally, when it happened, I was super upset, didn't know what to think. Typically, you have in the locker room a lot of guys talking about what their next move is because they just committed to this guy. So they're talking about whether it's transferring, what we're going to do next, how are we going to go about it the next season. Of course, when I was an underclassman, the transfer rules were a little bit different. So if you transferred, you had to sit a year. And then literally within 3 years span, you could transfer anywhere and play. So that was crazy for us. But it was a weird feeling. I remember going into the facility and seeing cameras outside, and obviously the cameras were pinned to me, trying to see my reaction. At the beginning of that year, I had kind of a bad deal with my facial reactions on national TV versus Georgia Tech. So I kind of prepped and kind of learned how to do that over time. Unfortunately, trial and error. But at that time, everybody's looking to the leaders of the football team, right? So Arkansas is going to be looking for their leaders of their football team. They're going to be looking at their quarterback. They're going to be looking at their upperclassmen to kind of lead the fold, and the coaches are going to most likely bring those upperclassmen into a meeting, talk to them about finishing this year strong, things that they want to see differently, how they want to see us attack, certain things like trying to get them motivated, saying that, hey, listen, like you still have the draft coming up, you still have certain things coming up, you want to put your best football on tape, and that right there is good enough for kids to go out there and play as hard as they can. Now with the new staff and new everything, those teams, if you go out there and punch them in the mouth early on, you might see some things waver, some confidence, some things like that, not be as plugged in. But I'm super excited to see how Arkansas goes about this too, because Petrino's a really good coach, obviously, right? So if anybody knows about Arkansas football in that locker room, which they're probably too young to understand, he probably had like a 70% win percentage when he was a head coach there before all that crazy stuff happened. So team, we'll see. Obviously, they had some second half woes throughout their whole season. We'll see how they react going forward with the new staff, kind of leading them, mentoring them.
865-255-03. I'm going to slip in a phone call here. Garza Law Hotline. Good morning.
What's going on, Swaino?
What's up, man?
What's going on, JG?
What's up, brother?
Oh, I'm just sitting out here on this beautiful morning here in West Tennessee, smoking some Loving Moneys and having me some Mellow Yellows. And I was feeling a bit inquisitive this morning. I got a couple of questions to name off the top here. Now, JG, I know in particular the film breakdown's your thing. Follow you stuff on YouTube. Love it. I'm a football snobby when it comes to breaking down defenses and offenses. I really enjoy your content. But this first question, I want to ask more for Swaino.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Do you guys think that Bobby Petrino rolls into Knoxville with a beautiful blonde on his Harley this weekend and replicates what they done last year to us defensively, where they just seem to have us locked down? And can we get a running game going against them? That's for Swaino. Number two, JG, I'd love love to hear your best Jawan Jennings story if you got one on tap, boys. I'll hang up and listen. Y'all have a good morning.
All right, thank you, Buck Nasty. I don't think Bob Petrino's going to be rolling in on a motorcycle. He'll probably be on the team bus. He'll be with the team on the team bus. And offensively, I think they're going to be really good. I mean, they are good. Like, Tennessee is one of the best teams in the country offensively. Arkansas is right behind Tennessee. I mean, when you look at their explosive plays per game throughout the season, I mean, they put up some pretty big explosive plays. Their quarterback is dual threat, Taylor Green. Couple receivers that can go and get it and make some plays. But, again, you look at those stats, yards per game, scoring. Arkansas is not too far behind. They are top 5 in the league in rushing. They can put up points too. Their offensive coordinators, the interim, Kobe Smith, played for Petrino when he was at Louisville. And so he's been with him over a decade. He knows what Petrino likes to call. He's been with Petrino. He's probably going to call a similar game as Petrino. I thought Petrino did a good job last year keeping Tennessee's defense kind of on their heels. And so I'm anticipating them having a similar game plan out there on Saturday. I'm trying to think of the other question that Buck Nancy had for me. I think that's it for me. But for you, Jared, your Jawan Jennings story.
Jawan Jennings story. Of course, everybody's first that jumps off to mind is the Georgia game. So I'll probably go with the Georgia game. Me personally, if you know Jawan, you know that he's the same exact person. However, he is around the media. However, he is around people, fans in the locker room. He's the same exact person. So I don't know if I have one off the top of my head. Me personally, of course, my favorite game ever from him was that Missouri game that I had with him, where I was able to throw for a lot of yards. That one, he was a key attribute to that. But Jawan as a person, Jawan as a player, he's as emphatic and bizarre and happy and just a great leader all around. And just being around him every day, especially when I was a younger player, him kind of helping me understand how to be a true leader, I give a lot of that to Jawan. And listen, he's a cast of character. Everybody knows that, but he's a really good person at heart too. So that was probably my biggest Jawan one, was probably that Georgia Hail Mary pass.
All right, Jared, we're not going to minimize what you did in that game, sir. I mean, I know that your career, you had some up and downs, but we're going to celebrate them ups. And I'm going to tell you something right now, Jared. That Missouri game, you had 3 receivers go for 100 yards. I don't know the last time I've seen that, if I ever seen that before, but Josh Palmer had 6 catches, 124 yards. He played on Sunday, Buffalo Bills, against the Patriots Sunday night. Jawan Jennings had 5 catches, 115 yards, a touchdown. He's on the 49ers, even though he's hurt, but he's balling right now. And then Marquez Callaway had 6 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown. You had 415 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. So we gonna celebrate that performance, man. That was a badass performance, Jared.
We were special that night. We needed it too, right, to go bowling. Obviously, that whole year, like, I kind of felt like I wanted to repay the team back, or I just wanted to give back to the fans. And that was the night where I felt like it all unfolded. And the guys were supporting me. The guys were there making plays, and it just felt so good that night. And obviously, towards the end of that year, it felt really good. But the boys balled out. Jawan, Quez, Palmer, Domwood Anderson that day. We had a lot of really good football players. Schematically, we had some things that were a little tougher, but that night it felt like it just all worked out. It was all right on par, and that was probably, I would probably put that as my best game at Tennessee. Of course, statistically it is, but that one right there was money.
What about the Auburn game on the road?
I have a picture. The Auburn on the road was probably the most crucial point of my career. I have a picture running off the field, and you see Auburn is orange and blue, but running off the field, you see going towards our locker room, Tennessee orange, and it must have been like 5,000-6,000 fans, and I'm running off the field with my hand up. I got to get that picture framed. That'll probably be my background picture, but that was probably the most influential win of my entire football career. That that day felt amazing. We caught them off guard. They were a really, really good football team that year.
Yep.
But that game, that day, we had our things going, and that picture right there, I got to get that one framed.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff out the wing formation with the running backs that day, man, hitting them seams. I remember. All right, I'm going back to the phones, Jared. People want to hear and talk to you, man. All right, let's get back to the phones. Good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Swain? It's VFL Swag.
What's up? What's up, man?
Not much. What's going on, JG?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Doing well? I'm doing
Long
good.
time, dude.
Good
Long
mom.
time.
I just wanted to say, it's good to see you, doing things with the university and, the film study. I absolutely enjoy it. And, I just wanted to say, it's good we enjoy seeing you, and we hope to see you more, and go Vols.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate
Thank
that
you,
phone
brother.
call.
Appreciate that, man.
Let's keep it going. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Long time no hear.
This is Vol Patriot?
You know who it is.
Dude, you call once every blue moon, man. That was a really good guess by me. I just remember your voice.
Hey, man, it's been a minute since I tried to pick you up that time ago at Dead End Barbecue.
What year was that?
Man, oh my gosh.
That was the year that Henry
That was the year
Toa.
we picked up. Yeah, we picked up Henry Toa, and we were all pumped up.
Yeah, wait.
Just for that man to lead. But yeah, man, how you guys been?
Good. Hope you are too, man.
Good, man. I've been good, man. Good to see that the show is still live and kicking. I've been kind of doing my own thing lately, man, but I saw that you guys were on, and I just wanted to give a call and kind of talk about the Arkansas game a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, man. So just a couple things. One thing I definitely noticed that is something to kind of see an improvement from is last year I noticed coming off of bye weeks, we started slow. And that Arkansas game, I know we started slow in that game and just kind of struggled offensively going forward under the Arkansas defense. Of course, now they lost their coordinator. But I guess what I want to see is, us coming out fast, especially playing in Knoxville and whatnot, and kind of getting over that hump. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Vol Patriot, I appreciate your phone call, man. It's good to hear from you. And
course, man.
We're going to tackle that for sure. And Jared, I'll say this about Vol Patriot's question. Bye weeks are good. You can heal up, you can rest, especially when you have some injuries that are going on with your football team. But when you're hot, I don't know if you really want to take a bye week. You kind of want to keep going to keep that momentum. And I think for Tennessee's offense, it's good to get guys healthy, but playing very, very well. And the chemistry was rolling. The way that Chris Brazzell was playing, the way that running backs were playing, and Mike Matthews. I know Staley had a rough start to the Mississippi State game, but a strong finish, a warrior type of finish. The bye week can sometimes be like a wet blanket, and so you just got to make sure that you come out and you have the same momentum in the first quarter of the Arkansas game as you had the first couple of games in the season, when it felt like Tennessee was a hot knife through butter against Georgia's defense and against Mississippi State's defense and Syracuse defense. And so that's the one thing I'm paying close attention to. The thing about Arkansas's defense from last year is, Travis Williams was the defense coordinator, and they played a lot of, and Heupel said this in the press conference on Monday, 3 safety, shell look over the top, would not let Tennessee beat them deep. And we couldn't. We couldn't complete deep balls. We couldn't hit big plays. Sampson ran it well, but we just couldn't hit those big money shots that we like to do. Well, this year, remember, there's some changes with the offense, with the route tree, with passing concepts. This year, you have more answers to the questions. And so there's a new voice defense coordinator. he's going to go and look at all the film where Tennessee was struggling offensively, and he'll try to do the same thing, I'm pretty sure. But the thing about those performances versus the performances of this year, JG, we have more routes. We have more route concepts. Our passing concepts are way different than they were last year. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, and specifically saying I agree with everything that you were talking about. Coming off of a bye week is a very difficult thing to continue to start fast, right? And that was a great question by Vol Patriot. I'll say this in terms of healthy and staying on a roll, the Tennessee offense has been one of the best offenses, if not the best offense in college football.
Yep.
Now, the Tennessee defense has a lot of weaknesses right now due to the fact of injury, right? We've been getting a lot of depth of our depth positions playing, whereas we needed this week to kind of get healthy and get everybody up to speed. So from a standpoint of a team, we saw it in the Arkansas game. Our offense was kind of up and down. Our defense carried the load. Towards the end of the game, they started to play well, get key stops, sacks, turnovers, also scored 14 points on defense, which was key. But we're still missing some key bodies. Obviously, McCoy's not going to be able to play yet. Hopefully, we can get Hobbs back in the fold. But in terms of the defensively for Arkansas, that three high safety look is the same three high safety look that I saw when we played there in 2020 during the COVID year. It's a very tough thing, but if you can run the ball effectively, they have to get out of that look. That's just going to have to be where they decide what they can do against us in the box, and if they can win in the box. If they can win that run game, they're going to stay in that three high safety look and take away our big explosive plays by our three really good wide receivers. But if we're able to run the ball efficiently and effectively, like we were able to do the first couple of weeks of the season, last week we kind of got away from it, or 2 weeks ago versus Mississippi State, we kind of got away from it, unfortunately. But if we can get back to running the ball and getting downhill on people, they're going to have to make a decision. That's what Petrino said in his presser. He talked about the difficulty of having to defend our team because we're running the ball super well as conceptually from the pass game standpoint, we're doing a lot of different things that we did last year. So it's going to be an awesome challenge for us, not knowing how the DC calls games, or for them, really, their DC calling their first game. I know their DC really well. He was the defensive coordinator for the UFL team, the Houston Roughnecks. So even this past year, I was able to play against them. And then the year prior, where I got banged up, I got hurt, I was with Houston. So I know Chris Wilson very well. It's kind of cool with this bye week, right? They're probably going to have to go back to watch some UFL film to see how Chris Wilson calls a game. But it'll be really interesting to see how he does. I know he's more of a single high, cover one beater. He'll have some different zone pressures on third down, but I don't want to say vanilla, but he lets his defensive line eat, and he kind of plays more single high and plays more man to man. So we'll see what he brings into Knoxville, but it'll be a really good matchup when it comes down to it. I think that there's going to be some ups and downs in that game just because Arkansas does have some really good players, but they have different play callers.
JG, ain't no way in hell that he's going to be able to run the defense that he was comfortable running at the professional ranks with the UFL. There's no way he's going to be able to play single high safety and live there comfortably versus this offense.
Especially with the defense. You look at their defensive rankings, right? Like they're almost I think they're almost last in every single category in the SEC. Like they're not going to be able to play man to man, single high, even three match by any means versus our guys. Our guys are just going to run by them. So they're going to have to mix it up. If they want to stick in that 2 high, 3 high look, we're going to have to run the ball. And we got 3 really special running backs to do it. But that's why it's going to be interesting. He's going to have to get away from things that he's comfortable with to have to play us this weekend in Neyland.
Yeah, 136 yards rushing against Mississippi State, 4.4 yards per carry, which doesn't even watching the game, Tennessee struggled to run the football consistently.
Second half, yeah.
But you still averaged 4.4 yards per carry, which is really good because Mississippi State averaged 3.6 yards per carry. Now they do factor in Blake Shapen's his sacks, 12 carries for negative 16 yards. So those sacks kind of play with the numbers a little bit. But we could have rushed the ball even better against Mississippi State. And it's funny that Bobby Petrino's talking about how well we run the football because we didn't necessarily light it up against Mississippi State running it. We threw the ball at will, but I think just like you said, we're going to need more balance, especially when they go, three safety look and they are trying to stop Tennessee from the deep throws. And so usually Josh Heupel doesn't really say much in the press conference, but Monday he said 3 high look, meaning that's what we got last year, and that's really the only thing that can stop Tennessee from hitting big plays unless they're going to get pressure. And last year they had a really good defensive end who went to the league, who gave us some trouble. But remember, last year was a rough going for Lance Hurd. This is a guy that was banged up start of the season. He was a little out of shape. Lance Hurd is playing great football right now. The offensive line this year is better than the offensive line that we saw last year against Arkansas. So you can play single high safety, you're going to play man up. You better get to the quarterback because pass protection has been on point this year for Tennessee. Tennessee, I want to say, is one of the best teams in the country at protecting the quarterback and sacks allowed.
They also had Georgia, I think, within 5 or 6 snaps, ran that 3 high safety look too. So they've had reps playing it in game and seeing it also. So this isn't going to be the first time, which is a good thing, right? Yeah. Like you don't want to go out there and this is the first time they're seeing it. Of course, they'll see it in practice. But Georgia played in. They were playing some. I'm going to get real football sciencey on the fans, but they're playing 3 double cloud. So they're playing. The cornerbacks are playing just basically cover 2, and then there's 3 high safeties taking away their deep thirds. They played that. They played some 3 double buzz where the 2 outside safeties are rolling down playing hook curl. Outside corners are playing cover 3. Middle safeties playing cover 3. And they played some 2 hole. So we've had some cover 2 hole. We've had experience playing this type of defense. So going into it, the guys, Joey's eyes, it should be a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more understanding of what the possibilities that they can play out of these 3 high safety looks, which can be a difficult look. Obviously, like I just said, there's 3 different coverages that you can play to it. You got to be aware for all 3. And who knows, maybe Arkansas mixes it up and sends a cover 0 pressure, or they do something differently out of it.
When you mentioned the 3 high safety look with the corners playing, cover 2, that's 5 guys that you have spread out. And I wonder what the down and distance was on those particular plays, because you're not running that if it's third and medium. You're not running that if it's second and medium. You're probably running that stuff if it's third and long and obvious passing down. But even much so, you run the football and you got to have success on first down, because if you don't, man, and you find yourself some third and longs, then they're going to play that, and then it's damn near impossible.
Oh, it's tough.
You got to throw under the sticks, and then everybody's like, "Go, the play calling is terrible. The play calling is terrible. Why are you throwing underneath the sticks?" Because there are no throws. There's no throws when they drop, 7 dudes in the coverage and they playing 3 high safety. There are no deep throws, and so you're basically screwed because you didn't handle business on first down.
That's that chess and checkers game, right? Like that's where I thought Kirby Smart's really good. Obviously, you get to a 2nd and 9, the defensive coordinator is going to feel more apt to call that 3 high, 3-3-5 kind of safety look. And when they give that sort of look, they're thinking, or they're saying, all right, we're going to shut down this pass, we're going to shut down everything. That's where that chess game comes from our standpoint of Coach Heupel, Coach Housley, like being able to call a play and sit there and say, you know what, we're going to go take half of it. They're going to probably go to this look and this 2nd and 11 look. Let's go run the ball. Let's go screen them right now. Let's go get half to make it really 3rd and manageable at 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, maybe even 3rd and short. So that's just going to be that game that has to be played, and it's going to be tough, right? We don't know their tendencies with a new defensive coordinator. No. We don't know if he likes to go to that 3-3-5. So we're just going to have to play true, and I think if we rely on this run game and we continue doing the play action game off of it, we'll be super successful.
In-game adjustments are going to be bigger in this game than any other game this season, even more so than the first game of the season versus Syracuse. And when you play a team for the first time, first game of the season, they have all summer to throw in wrinkles, and sometimes you just don't know what you're going to see. Kind of like when you guys played against Georgia Tech first game of the season. Like, we knew what they were going to do offensively, which was triple option. But defensively, you can take film from the prior year with a grain of salt, knowing that they could do some things differently, and you have to adjust in game. Well, Arkansas is playing with a new defense coordinator, a guy that I don't remember has ever called plays at the collegiate level. And I remember the last time Tennessee played a NFL coordinator was 2021 versus Missouri, and Tennessee hung 60 points on them. And so you better have some experience going up against this offense, or it could be ugly. So I wonder how simple he is going to make the game plan, so that way he doesn't confuse his own guys, but at the same time understanding that this is an offense that is different than normal offenses that Arkansas has played this season. I watched the Arkansas Ole Miss tape. Dude, Ole Miss did whatever they wanted.
Free runners everywhere. Yeah,
they did whatever they wanted, JG.
Free runners everywhere.
Whatever they wanted.
You look at it from that standpoint, too. The games at the beginning of the season were always super tough, right? Especially against different opponents that you're not used to. You have no idea what they're going to throw out to you. You can watch tape, and I remember beginning of the year, I spent countless hours, like I'm talking like probably 70 hours watching just straight tape on the defensive coordinator's pass. If he's a different defensive coordinator, where'd he come from? Their players, schematically, what do they want to do? And then you can watch 70 hours of tape, and they throw things out that they've never even shown on tape. And as a quarterback's perspective, you're looking out there, you're super confused. You don't really understand what they're trying to do. Coaching staff, we had a game plan of what the past defensive coordinator has done and certain things, or defensively, what have they looked like personnel-wise. They completely run something different. That game plan's kind of out the window. It's good that this is happening at the middle of the season, so we had a bye week to kind of dispute and kind of figure out a little bit more of who they have defensively, personnel-wise. But it's going to be tough to see what that DC has in store. I can't imagine, like you said, them really doing anything sporadic or doing anything out the box because it's still in season. They're going to probably have to play more true to game. But from the DC standpoint on Arkansas, he's going into one of the toughest offenses in the entire country. How are you going to get lined up? How are you going to defend the tempo? How are you going to stop the run or pass game? Or how are you going to stop our three wide receivers? Like, these are a lot of questions that when you sit in that defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator room with the coaches, you're writing this down on the board. 1, stop the run. 2, stop these 3 playmakers. 3, quarterback can move. He's a really good player. 4, offensive line's playing well. And then you sit there and say, even 5, our tight ends are really good too. So those are a lot of things that they're going to have to dispute and cover for Tennessee's football or Tennessee's offense. I don't know how you can do that. And Petrino seemed kind of like shaking up a little bit at the pressure, saying like, yeah, they can run the ball and they can throw. We got to harp on both things. So it's going to be super tough for them to stop it. I think Tennessee's going to be up for the challenge. I mean, they've been up for the challenge offensively all year, and they're going to be a week rested.
Yeah. Offensively, I'm not concerned that much because, like you just said, it's difficult for their new defense coordinator to take over during a bye week, Chris Wilson, and then have to defend this type of tempo. I would not be surprised, JG, if we see Arkansas defenders with, wristbands on their pants to keep the call simple. And we've seen defenses do that. We saw South Carolina defense do that in 2022 when Tennessee, fell there. It just makes it easy, makes it simple. It allows guys to line up really, really quickly. And when you're playing Tennessee at home, we could be even faster because the crowd is not an issue for us. So I don't see how exotic Chris Wilson and Arkansas will be able to be. Now, my concern is with us defensively and how we stop the run. How do we defend explosive plays? How do we tackle in space? Those are things that we saw kind of give us some issues against Georgia, also give us some issues against Mississippi State. And I think Arkansas's offense is better than Mississippi State. I think it's maybe on par with Georgia's offense. I mean, they have a tendency to be explosive. So let's get to the text box, man. Text box, Beatty Chevrolet, BeattyChevrolet.com. And we got some good questions, good comments here. Brian Hunsucker says, wristbands, Connor Stallions game 2.0. Rodney and Austell says, this year quarterback has seen a lot of coverages compared to what was available last year. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to judge where we are right now versus the entire season of last year. I do think we just have more answers to what teams want to run against us this year versus last year. Last year, it was hard to go mid-season and change a whole. I don't want to say change a whole offensive philosophy, but put in new concepts during the week. Like that might be tough to do, especially with Nico being a first-time starter. The offseason has allowed Josh Heupel and company to kind of overhaul some things in the passing game and have more answers to when teams try to play us with three safeties high or try to confuse us. It just seems like Joey and the offense, they just kind of know what's happening and they're not caught off guard. Kyle Duckett says, I don't think Arkansas has the personnel to really beat Tennessee. The only way Tennessee loses this game is if Tennessee beats itself. But that's what happened against Mississippi State. I mean, in Tennessee, we almost beat ourselves against Mississippi State.
And you're playing whenever you're playing an SEC team, right? You would like to think personnel-wise, but SEC games are a different level of talent. Like Arkansas is going to have guys that get drafted. They have really special players, right? So going into the game, we could put on paper that we're more talented, but it's always going to be a hard-nosed game at some point, right? Like usually the first half's really close. Then second half, we hope that our depth can take over. But they do have the leading total yards player in all of college football, right? They have Taylor Green, who's a really good quarterback. They got Omega Blake. They got Mike Washington. Mike Washington's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. So like they have players, right? It's not going to be some cakewalk. Of course, going into it, you don't want to think about that, but I think that we'll win. I think that we'll pull away at the end. But they have some guys on that team, right? Their record doesn't really compare to what their talent level is, I feel like.
They should have the same record as us.
I agree.
I mean, they are probably 2 or 3 plays when you watch them against Memphis, when you watch them against Ole Miss, like they're going blow for blow with Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a top 5 team, and you can make the case that they should have beat Ole Miss on the road. And listen, Notre Dame was a spanking.
Yeah, that was the one that was the outlier.
Yeah, that was a spanking. But you can make a case, and I'm sure Josh Heupel is telling his team, this team could easily be 4-1 right now. And so you got to understand that going into this football game. If you watch the film, I think you can see that. You lost by, a point to Memphis. You're in scoring position, but you fumbled. And then Ole Miss, you lost 41-35, and you turned the ball over on the last possession. I mean, you had the opportunity to go down and win. So,
Swain, think about how close it is for us being from 5-0 to 4-1 to 3-2.
Yeah, a couple plays.
Maybe 4 plays, right? Yeah. Like even last week we had that big 4th down completion that
Brazel.
Who caught the ball over the
Brazel
caught the ball over. If that ball's dropped, that's a tough catch. Running the opposite way or behind your, that's a really tough. If he drops that, we're 3-2.
Yeah.
If our kicker makes that field goal, we're 5-0. You know, so like these games aren't as outlandish. That's why the Vegas odds are always a little bit lower, a little bit crazier. But these games aren't as crazy. These guys, Arkansas can be 4-1. They can be 3-2, just like us, just like we can. We've just been able to finish some of the closer games at the end, rather they weren't.
I'm going back to the phones, man. Garza Law Hotline 865-255-03. Good morning.
Good morning, Swain. Oh, good morning, JG.
What's up, Mississippi Vol?
What's up, brother?
What's going on? It's good to see you doing well, JG.
Appreciate you, brother. Happy to be back.
Good to see you doing Tennessee things. One question I would have to ask is McCoy going to be back, or is he practicing this week, or what do we expect? When we expect him to be back, possibly? And I know we're getting Dobbs back. But my number one question is, do you think that we're going to try McMurray at safety a little bit, or are we going to just keep going with the freshman at corner over the next couple of games? And last thing I want to say, JG, is like I said, it's good to see you back doing Tennessee things. I would have loved to see you play in this offense. I think you would have been awesome in this offense. But other than that, I'm going to hang up.
Thank you, Mississippi Vol.
Thank you, brother.
Jamal McCoy's not going to play this week. Jamal McCoy needs to do team before we can expect him to play in a football game. And so that's pretty much all I got on McCoy. I know David Sanders Jr., he's cleared. No reason to not expect him to be out there, whether it's starting snap one or going in second possession. But if he's cleared, he's playing. And going into the season, he was going to be the starting tackle anyways. And so
he played well too, Swain.
Sure did.
As soon as he got in that game, I was like looking for some freshman mistakes or some freshman maybe he was some rust a little bit from not playing. He went in there and he played really well. I did not expect that. He's a really good player.
Yeah, outside of the false start, I mean, he was
a boss.
Yeah, crazy.
He was great, man. The first play they pulled him, and he demolished.
Smoked him. He smoked him. I was staring at him the whole time. I'm like, oh, he looked athletic as heck too. He looks like he can play some basketball. He can dunk it.
Yeah.
He looked really athletic. They got something with him. He's going to be a great player. What else?
I have some things written down here for you, JG.
And we were talking about that freshman cornerback. It's good that he's getting reps now too, right? Like these hardcore reps getting thrown into the middle of something, like that's going to be really good for him come next year, come 2 years from now when he's sitting there playing great football, right? These reps are very valuable for him.
Ty Redmond, number 4.
Yep.
And he has played well since the Georgia game. And listen, man, everybody has bad games, especially if you play as a true freshman. Like this is a grown man's league, and so he has grown a lot from that Georgia game. And I think we've done a better job of putting him in situations to be successful too, and not just putting him on an island. Also, the pass rush has been great too, protecting him as well. As far as McMurray moving to safety, I don't see that because I see McMurray as your nickel guy. He is the guy that Tim Banks trusts playing a nickel position, and he's going to get the nod there more so than Boo Carter, and safeties will just have to play better. I don't see McMurray moving to safety unless they feel more confident in Boo Carter and him being able to be more consistent in his responsibilities. He's an unbelievable playmaker, but they got to trust him more to put him out there more. And if they could do that, then it maybe frees up McMurray to play in other places. But I don't know. All right, my questions I have for you, JG. How in the hell you end up at Washington State? What?
COVID.
What? So what was the choices there? Like, how was that experience, man? Because, obviously it was time to move on and get a fresh start. But walk me through how you landed on Washington State. What was that whole process like, man? I'm so curious about that.
So the COVID year was really weird.
Yeah.
Right. If you remember, I mean, that was one of the worst times ever.
Yeah, for everybody.
Just for everybody.
Yeah.
But for my recruitment, like obviously after I had decided that there were some things, whatever it was, I'm looking at it. A lot of the Pac-12 teams had reached out, and at that time of COVID, you couldn't go travel and take visits.
Yeah.
So that's why it was really tough to really understand and go grasp where you liked or where you wanted to go, what you wanted to do. So I had talked to Arizona, I had talked to UW Washington, then I had talked to Washington State University, and Arizona was coming off a really bad year. I think they were 1-11. Washington had some ups and downs. They didn't really know what they wanted to do at quarterback. And then Washington State, I knew Washington State traditionally was a place that loved to throw the ball, right? And like that was at that point in my mind, that's the only thing that I felt like I was really missing. I was missing stats, and I wanted to go somewhere that I can put up a lot of stats and throw the ball around and just go fuel it up and show everybody my arm talent and everything. So
Yeah.
when I'm going through the process, I'm thinking it's Mike Leach's air raid type of offense, just spit the ball around. And I'm going through it and I'm talking, and the coaching staff there, which I love dearly, they ran the run and shoot. which is a completely different offense in the air raid. You're kind of doing back pedal drops. You're doing like half rolls, like things that I've never did in my entire life. So I said, you know what? As long as I get to throw, I was so fed up with running the ball and handing the ball off. I was like, as long as I get to throw the ball consistently and get a feel for the game, I want to go to a place that throws it a lot. And then that marked me right in Pullman, Washington. When I got off the flight, it was my first time there. Basically, London and Idaho, middle of nowhere. But the guys on that team were awesome. They were super nice to me. Obviously, they knew what I was dealing with, coming from the SEC and coming from Tennessee at that time in particular. But I just wanted to throw the rock around.
Yeah.
And then I started doing backpedal drops, and it kind of caught me off guard. And it was my fifth offense at the time in all of college football. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go somewhere. I can learn any new offense. And then it was the run and shoot, which is an offense where the receivers get to pick their own routes basically, and it's just it's really tough to learn in 1 year, but
Yeah.
that's how I ended up in Pullman.
Yeah. I always wanted to know kind of how that played out and how you ended up at Washington State. I tried to follow you, man, but wasn't many games on TV, and I damn sure wasn't going to be staying up at 2 a.m. watching y'all.
I unfortunately that year I got hurt.
Yeah.
I was the starter week 1, and I got hurt in the second quarter, bad knee injury, and I was out 7 weeks. And then our coaches got fired due to not getting the COVID shot. And once again, the bad luck unfortunately followed me all the way across the country. But listen, can't take it back now. So
no, you learned a lot, man. You're here now, and you're a whole lot better from it. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Morning, Swain.
What's going on, man?
JG. It's Caleb,
What's up, brother?
man.
Who we speaking with again?
Caleb.
Okay, Caleb.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks, man. You know, like I said, I think last time I had to get kind of surgery and stuff, but everything's all good now.
Good,
so,
man.
Perfect.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. My question, man, is, I mean, obviously I like where we are right now as a team. I think that win against Mississippi State, it's kind of a good thing to be able to fight through that adversity like that, especially on the road. And golly, made me not want to hear cowbells for a while. But it was nice to come out with a dub. I'm not as concerned about Arkansas this week, but I mean, I'm a fan. Obviously, I want the players to be thinking about Arkansas, but something that kind of concerns me a little with Arkansas, because Taylor Green is so talented, it seems like Tennessee's defense would do really good on first and second down. Third down and fourth down, it seems like almost always we kind of collapse a little bit. We give up a good big play, like a couple times against Mississippi State. I think it was like 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 12. And we should have it completely stopped, and we allow something to get through. And it always is like a slant or some kind of, you know, where we give up a long run on a delayed handoff, and you're like, they shouldn't even have got this. So I was wondering, like, do you all think that they're addressing that, or have they addressed that this past week? And do you think that we'll see improvement on that? And I'll hang up and listen to y'all's answer. Y'all have a good day, and go Vols.
Yeah, thank you. For context, I want to say, well, I don't want to say I am saying because this is factual. Third down defense so far this season, Tennessee is 46th in the country, 35%. So you want to be obviously top 25, sitting at 46 right now. I look at Tennessee versus Mississippi State, and, you know, that third down in defense is where, hey, man, it's the money down. You always want to get off the field on defense, and you always want to extend drives on offense. Against Mississippi State, Tennessee defensively, 8 for 19 from Mississippi State, and 1 for 2 on fourth downs. It can be better. I think we can agree there. But I will say this. Tennessee right now leads the country in sacks. Tennessee right now, you have your 2 starting corners hurt. And so with that, you have to adjust. And you have to play to your strengths. I think if Tennessee starting corners are playing, you're playing third downs probably a little bit different. You're probably playing more man. You're probably more handsy on the perimeter. But you don't want to give up explosive plays and big plays. You let your defensive line work for you. You bend, but you don't break. And sometimes, hey, man, they pick up a third down. It stinks. It sucks. But I would rather for them to pick up a third down than them throw it over our head and score a touchdown from outside the red zone. Let's see if they can score in the red zone. where it's harder. Let's force into a field goal. And I just feel like with the injuries on the defense, Tim Banks and company have had to just manage the best they could with the secondary guys who are absent. I will say third down defense could be better. It is frustrating when you see teams complete third downs, but given the circumstances, I understand the bend but don't break mindset right now defensively, especially when you have some pass rushers that can change the game in a split second.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you look at it schematically, we're in a position right now where we can't play as aggressive in our back end, which is okay, right? I had a tougher time going against teams personally that were bend don't break teams because they make you have to stay consistent, throw underneath, can't throw any shots, the deep ball's taken away. So it also frustrates offense. When you think offensively, is it tougher to go on a 15-play drive to score 3 points, or is it tougher to get the ball 6 plays, 70 yards down the field, march it down the field like our offense kind of does and has explosives everywhere and score a touchdown, right? From our standpoint, we would rather offense make a mistake at the tail end, whether it's a false start, a holding call, a sack, for instance, and it puts their drive to rest, right? So the way that we're handling third downs, I think, is right on par with what we need to be. I think as a fan, would I rather see a slant completed, like we said, a slant completed at 3rd and 8, and us saying, why are we not tackling, rather than us playing cover one, which teams usually do in the SEC from that 3rd and medium range, cover one, and then throwing a deep ball over our heads in a 50-yard completion. I don't even think that's a question, right? I know the Vol fans, and I know myself. Yeah. We would much rather that ball get thrown underneath. Let's go on another 1st and 10 drive. Let's stop the run, get to 2nd and 12, whatever it is. But from that standpoint, I think defensively we're doing everything that's asked. And, of course, we're going to get frustrated, right? Mississippi State, there was a lot of frustration on Twitter or whatever it was with the tackling or with the long drives that Mississippi State was going on. But when you look at it in hindsight, 40% on 3rd down, how many sacks did we have, Swain? 5 or 6 sacks versus them in Mississippi State. And then we had 2 scores off of it. We made them turn the ball over. Like that's a great day from a defense outside looking in. Of course, when you're feeling it, you're like, oh, let's tackle Booth, let's tackle Bothwell. Those guys are really good football players. They didn't look too hot versus Texas A&M, but prior to, they're really good football players. So I think that bend don't break method is really good for our team right now. And then when we get healthier and we start revving that thing up with our D-line and we get our corners and DBs back playing 100%, we're going to see a little bit more aggressiveness from our play caller.
6 sacks against Mississippi State. It is worth mentioning that this game defensively will be the toughest game on 3rd down because Arkansas is 5th in the country in 3rd down conversions at 58%.
That's good. And they got a quarterback that can run the ball too. So we're going to have to really make sure that we have gap control, gap integrity, pass rush lanes. We don't get messed up because this kid, even though he's 6'6", he can move. So playing a dual threat quarterback, I think this is, I'll say this. I mean, I don't even think he's definitely the best quarterback that we've played all year, talent wise, like not even close. Like I think Gunner's a good player. I think Shapen's a good player. Angeli good, but Taylon Green's a different animal. And if they can protect for him, and he doesn't really have great players on the outside. I know their number 1 receiver got hurt in that Notre Dame game, Jaylen Brown. But if they can protect for him and he can find some open receivers, he's going to make plays. And he's a really, really good football player.
Yeah. The crowd's going to play a big part in helping Tennessee put Arkansas behind the sticks. Because if it's 3rd and 3, it's damn near impossible to stop a dude like Taylon Green from, even on the pass, scrambling and picking up a 3rd down, picking up 3 yards to convert on 3rd down. So those pre-snap disruptions that we can get from the fans, man, creating crowd noise, get those guys getting false starts, or if they get a holding call on 1st down, we're talking 1st and 20. Now you really put them behind the sticks and as 3rd down, you have a great chance to get off the football field. But right now, man, Arkansas is winning on 1st down, which allows them to convert those 3rd downs, man, 5th in the country at 58%. So that's something Tennessee's defense will definitely have to make sure that they do a good job of.
It's our only home game too in October, right?
Yeah, man.
It's tough, man. We got to make sure that should be a point of emphasis though for the fans to be able to get out there, and only got one this month, so hopefully we can get them going, get them riled up a little bit, some false starts, some key things like that. That would be huge.
All right, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna hit this text box. There's a lot of good stuff here on the text box. Some good questions that we will get to. Our telephone number is 865-255-03. It's Jared Gantano filling in for Ben McKee, former Tennessee quarterback. You don't want to go anywhere. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Be right back.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Guys, this sports season, it's game on at Low T Center, the MVPs of testosterone replacement therapy. Ready to tackle low energy and achieve your health goals like a pro? We've got the winning game plan with personalized TRT. Book a free consultation and automatically enter for a chance to win autographed sports memorabilia or tickets to major sporting events. Female patients also eligible. For more information or to book an appointment, visit trtmvp.com. That's trtmvp.com.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Fall sports can be a roller coaster ride for us fans. The excitement, drama, and passion will make us crazy sometimes. I can't manage the games, but I can help you manage your real estate needs while you're cheering on the Vols. Reach out at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Jared Gantano joining us here on the Swain Event, filling in for our guy Ben McKee. Talked to Ben last night, talked to him this morning, and man, he's doing well right now. He's doing well right now, so he appreciates everyone's love and support, and just want to give you guys a little bit of a update on Ben. Last week was rough, but this week he is doing really, really well. So, man, he can't wait to get back with us. Has some appointments to go to this morning, which is why he's unable to join. But it's not because he's not feeling good. He's feeling good. So happy for being there. Jerry, I got a couple questions on the text box. And let's see here. Let me go to the one. There's a couple. They're basically the same. Oh, yeah, here it is. Basically, a couple questions asking the same thing. And Louisiana Vol says, Swain, don't want to be petty. Love JG. I'm sure others are wondering. Let's get the elephant out the room. What happened in the Bama game on the goal line? So the goal line play is a fumble, and they took it back the distance. Obviously not a great play for Tennessee. And so, JG, you're going to be asked this over and over and over. No different than my quarterback, Eric Ainge, had to address 2005 LSU kind of threw the ball up on his own goal line. It got picked off, and they scored a touchdown. And so, man, he's doing well in his career, and we all have plays that don't go our way, and so might as well attack it and own it and answer it now. So I just wanted to ask you, JG, kind of walk us through what happened with that Bama play, because people want to know, and I'm gonna give the floor to you, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, it didn't help, Swain, that Trevor Lawrence fumbled on the same play last night. Yeah. Fortunately enough for him, his football didn't go in the back of the end zone. His football went back to his offensive side, so it wasn't a 100-yard fumble recovery. But listen, so we were driving the field. Obviously, game was up and down. I thought, whatever, at that standpoint, I thought I was playing good football. And we got stopped on a run play. I'm looking at the sideline. It's kind of like everybody's like, what are we doing? It's like, what's the call going to be on the sideline? Everybody's like waiting to see what we're doing. Probably should have banged a timeout, I thought, just by the way of confusion and everything. So we see the clock running down. And sporadically, we had a couple of people on the sideline that were signalers. So the week prior, I had some stuff going on mentally, whatever it was. That's a whole nother conversation. But so I'm looking at the sideline, I'm trying to figure out everything, and out of nowhere they just start signaling. So we had signals, whether it was call was either converse, whether the call was replay, whatever it is. I'm looking at one of the signalers do a certain signal, and I'm like, okay, that's converse. Okay, one's doing reverse. So I say, well, I forgot what it was, staples or copy or whatever it was, which means run the same play, which was that guard pull power, whatever play it was. And then I'm seeing the converse. So what's up?
Crouch, right?
Yep.
The
crouch. So that was a previous play. We got stopped. So we're all like, what are we doing now? Are we keeping out the same personnel? What are we doing? So I'm looking at another signaler, and he's giving me converse, and he's giving me this. He's giving me both. So I'm thinking that in that play, because we had multiple plays, I'm thinking in that play that we had the option to do so. Okay, so I'm like, okay, so right before the snap, and I was laughing with a couple of my teammates at Trey Smith's camp. There was a bunch of offensive linemen, some of which obviously were on that play. Right before the snap, I screamed converse, or I said converse, whatever it was, and Converse's QB sneak. One of them did it, the other didn't. I go up top, fumble, boom. So, but we talk about it now, and obviously in hindsight, I wish it didn't happen. Probably the worst play of my career. Of course, other ones you're going to say whatever, but that play right there was super critical. Obviously, I've caught in a lot of backlash, some things, but if you were up close to that ball, you kind of know and heard what my call was. And of course, me going over top on a QB sneak probably wasn't beneficial, just like it wasn't for Trevor last night. I probably should have just stayed low and drove like I did my whole career. But even then, even going back now, like, can't take it back. That happened. The guys that were right in front of me heard it. Some didn't hear it super loud. We were right in their end zone. It was craziness. Probably biggest thing I would have did differently, it was just would have banged the timeout and saw everybody on the sideline, saw everybody's eyes that were kind of like, what are we doing? That was the perfect time on a critical down to bang a timeout.
Yeah. Well said, man. Well said.
I've lived that play about 1,000 times over in my head. so of course I got to live with it. I apologize to Vol fans, and I apologize to anybody. I apologize to the team the next day with the miscommunication with everything. I took it on the head, and obviously later that year we were able to get things rolling. But once again, that's kind of the story. And of course I know I'm going to have to answer it a couple more times, or maybe 1,000 more times. But listen, you live and you learn, and the longer you play this game, you're going to have moments that you wish that you taken back.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. I think as you enter this space, JG, it's going to be hard not to be asked questions about certain plays in your playing career. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing this since 2009, and dude, I still get questions about certain plays.
And you know what? That's why going into it, of course, as a player, Swain, people can say whatever you want, whether his pocket presence, I wish he was more accurate, such and such. Like, I 1,000% agree. I wish that there were certain things I was better at as a player too. Like everybody does, right? When you self-scout or you self-evaluate, what do you think you were better at? There's things that I felt like my skill set was more towards that when Tennessee I got there, we got away from high school. But these are things. The thing that I know now is with my history with football and the amount of coordinators and the amount of knowledge that I've gained, people can sit there and ask me certain questions or say certain things about me playing wise. But I think schematically and mentally, when it comes to the game of football, I think that I'm one of the best at that just due to my history of learning it. So, of course, there's going to be back and forth with certain things, but I do know for certain now with going forward, if there's any questions about football or if there's anything with the film studies or anything like that, I feel like my game right now is up to par with a lot of people that are at the top with football talk.
Let me read off some of the responses from our listeners, JG. No need to apologize. You're a competitor. You still kicked Auburn's ass. We forgive you, JG. Go big damn orange. Your head coach should have called a timeout to help you out. Didn't. Love hearing JG back talking Vols. Have really enjoyed watching the film breakdown. Great to have you back, JG. VFL, go big orange. Good to hear from you, JG. Hey, man. It's love.
Yeah. Listen, what's done, and that's why I say to everybody, what's done is done.
It's done, man.
As long as you guys know how much I love you guys and how much I love that Power T, I hope that I get that same reciprocated, and if not, so be it. I mean, I'm not here for any ill will, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I've been through and everything that I've had and experienced in my entire life, no matter if it's good, bad.
When you coming to Knoxville, man?
Coming October 29th through the November, I think, 3rd. I think I'm going to be there for a week. Oklahoma.
Oh.
Big one.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I wish there was more in October so I can get to it, but only home game, the next home game after this one is that big Oklahoma one, so I'm excited. Hopefully Mateer doesn't play because he's a dang good football player himself.
He's a stud, man. All right, let's get back to the phones. Garza Law Hotline, good morning.
So much for screening the phone calls. Morning, boys.
I don't have call ID,
Morning,
man.
buddy.
Dang it. What's up, Volstorm?
So a few weeks back, I discovered this YouTube channel. I started watching it, checking it out. Great guy on there breaking down film in ways that I'd never seen, taking football concepts to where you can actually understand them, relate to them like, oh, this is what Brady runs, this is what the Chiefs run, but so on and so forth. And ever since then, of course, I had to hit that, do all the YouTubey things, hit the subscribe, the like, notifications, all that stuff. I just want to say, JG, you do an incredible job on your channel.
Thank you, brother. No, I appreciate that. I didn't know any idea where you were going with it, and then I started to hear a little bit of references. And thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm trying my best, buddy. I hope to get better and better at it, but it's something that I love with a passion. So I appreciate you for subscribing and tuning into it.
Fantastic, guys. We can talk all day about Arkansas's kind of Swiss cheese defense, but really, what I want to know is, what is it that Arkansas's offense runs that's kind of their bread and butter, their go-to? We know if we run this, we'll be successful, that Tennessee's going to have to defend against.
You got it, Swain? Or?
No, I'll let you get that one.
I'd say that they're better suited to run the ball. I think their power read game, I think if they run some Q counters, some quarterback counters with Taylor Green, they're super successful. And then you look at it schematically, or you look at them from personnel-wise, I should say, they don't really have a world beater at wide receiver. Omega Blake is a really good player. I wouldn't sit there and say that he's a world beater, and also they lost their number one. So I wonder how that they're going to attack us pass game-wise, but run game-wise, I would expect to see a lot of zone reads, Q powers, Q counters, those sort of things with Taylon Green and Mike Washington, their running attack can be really good, right? And we got to make sure that we stop them on early downs. Even then, we got to play with all three, first, second, and third, really well just to get them off the field because they have a really good scrambling quarterback, a really good dual threat quarterback in Taylon.
Fantastic. Guys, before I go, JG, one last thing I got to commend you on. At least you pay attention to your YouTube chat, unlike Swain there. See you, boys!
I knew it was coming. Good morning.
Yo, he crazy, man.
What's up, Jamel?
What up? What up? What up? JG, my guy.
What's up, brother? How are you?
I bet your haters punching the air right now, boy. Ooh, you got something swinging a bit? That's what's up, man. Man, I always mess with you, man. Like he said, man, I second what he said. Your YouTube channel. Long-ass name, but you know what I'm saying?
And he changed it on us. He changed it on us. That's the joke. He changed it on us.
But you on point with the stuff, man. I was like, this boy know what he's talking about, man. I knew he knew what he's doing. We all know what the issue was when you was just, you know, if you would have had a coach like this, I bet you would have balled out. But the question I want to ask is, with them stopping our defense, stopping our offense last year, they got some studs on that defensive line. They got some guys that can play. You know what I'm saying? And if I was, you know, I'd see what was successful last year. You know what I'm saying? And try to, you know, emulate the same thing. But at the same time, we're doing different things this year too. We ain't that same offense that we was last year. So I mean, if they try to, I think we are talented to be able to attack whatever they're trying to. What most teams are trying to offer. Because I mean, we put up these points and yards on everybody this year. I mean, we played two SEC teams. You know what I'm saying? And we put up those points on them. So I want to ask you guys, baby, trying to talk to y'all too.
Hurry up, Jamel. We got that baby in the background.
What y'all think the defense offensively will look like against them and their defense this year? And I'll get off here, man. JG, man, keep doing your thing, bro. Subscribe to you, man. I'm gonna keep watching, man. Keep riding it out with the Vols, man. I know you big orange for life, baby.
I appreciate that, Jamel. Hate to get you off. That beautiful, cute baby in the background. It's hard for people to hear. Go ahead, JG. I'll let you answer that.
No, I think that those are really good assumptions and really good questions from Trammell. When you look at it last year, the final score was 19-14. I'd say when you look at it, the biggest thing, and he actually kind of somewhat answered his own question, the offense is completely more complex and diverse than it was last year.
Yep.
Whether it's schematically, whether it's run game, formationally, motions, shifts, that's what makes makes it harder for the defense to have to prepare, right? There's more eye candy with guards pulling, tackles pulling, centers pulling on any type of pass plays. We've been really mixing it up super well in that play action game. The things that they did last year, I don't think that they'll also be able to do this year. Joey's a slightly different quarterback than Nico was. We also were on the road last year where we have had trouble communicating and somewhat getting used to their whatever it is, their offense, the atmosphere, whatever it could be. But going into this year, I feel like we're a completely different team, completely different wide receivers. I feel like these three wide receivers right now are playing some of the best ball out of any three wide receivers probably, I mean, in the history of the school when you look at it numbers-wise. So Arkansas is going to have a way tougher time. They did have some really good defensive linemen last year. I think they had a draft pick this past year that he's not there anymore.
Jackson.
Yep, and he was a dang good player.
He wrecked us last year.
Dang good player. They don't have that. They're going to have to figure out a way to stop the run. But there are three wide receivers, right? If they want to come up and stop the run, they're going to have to figure out a way to stop those guys and stop this complex offense that we have now with this different schemes that we evolved in the offseason.
What do you like about this offense that you feel like that if you played in, you would be successful? I know you didn't mention it. I'm mentioning it because I had to talk about this on this very show after games during the week when people used to always point the finger at the quarterback. And I used to always have to say, guys, this dude's had 4 offensive coordinators in 4 years. And it's more than just the quarterback. It's the offensive line. It's the receivers. It's the running backs. It's the coaching. And you got to have a system that allows a quarterback to be successful. And what we have seen under Josh Heupel in the 4.5 years, we've seen him take Hendon Hooker, who Virginia Tech didn't want. We've seen Heupel take Joe Milton, who Harbaugh didn't want anymore. We've seen him take Joey Aguilar, even though it's been half of a season, and he's had more success with those three guys than the previous coaching staff. So we have a system that obviously is quarterback friendly. What stands out to you the most about what you see from this offense that you feel good and confident that if you played in this offense, you would be successful too?
Yeah, I'd like to say that coming out of high school, going into college, that when I had committed, it was to a certain offense, and it was more to a offense that kind of suited me from the high school days. When I got to college, we did a lot more under center and a lot of things that I felt allowed me to take more hits, and unfortunately it broke my body a little bit more down. I felt coming out of high school I was really, really good Q counter, Q power guy. I mean, you can go, everybody probably watched tape. Everybody was probably super excited to see me running around. But there were certain things in my high school's offense that we never did in college, which I felt like was really tough for me because that was where I felt like I was more well-suited and I felt more comfortable. I didn't think I was more of the I formation, hand the ball off. If you guys have watched me play in the past, that's kind of just where we kind of geared to, and it kind of made me more of a pocket guy, and we didn't really move the pocket very much. And that's where I think that Coach Heupel's offense is so special. He allows the quarterback to move around a little bit, whether it's setting different launch points in the backfield. Obviously, the reads are a little bit quicker. He spreads the field out, so it makes it way easier on the quarterback's eyes to see what coverage, as well as going tempo, which softens up that defense, right? He makes the read super easy for the quarterbacks. That's why I think it's a true indicator how really good and simple this offense is. With Joey, of course, he is an older quarterback, but him coming in and only being here for 2-3 months before going into a football game, and him looking like he truly knows the offense inside and out, it's an indication on how smart and how good he is as a football player. But it's also very, very important to take notice on how that Tennessee offense has allowed the freedom for him to play, and him to play super well and super good football and get these guys involved. So listen, I think that, I laughed with Coach Heupel last year when I had visited and I said, you guys run a really great offense, and we had kind of some back and forth, and he had said, yeah, it would have been cool seeing you in it or whatever it was. And I just laughed and I said, who are you telling? Because I think about it all the time. But listen, it's a really good offense for any quarterback. That's why I'm not surprised we're getting really top talent in the recruiting process. It'll be super cool to see some of our recruits coming in, that we have high-level players getting those opportunities. And listen, we still have some guys that are on the team right now that are still good quarterbacks. So the offense is suited for any type of talent. Coach Heupel is really good at putting the quarterback in a position with whatever his skill set is to be successful.
On the Beatty Chevrolet text box, Tri-Cities Vol wants to know your YouTube channel name. I'm on it right now, and it is at J Garantano. So youtube.com/J Garantano. You can go and subscribe. I'm going to hit that subscribe button on this account. I got a couple of YouTube accounts, but on this one, I just hit subscribe on that one as well. And so there's breakdowns of Mississippi State, there's breakdowns of UAB, Georgia, and there's previews. So go there and hit that subscribe button. And like all his content, he does a great job, and it's only going to get bigger and better. He's just not getting started, and it's already looking good. So it's only going to get better. I saw your interview here with Mike Keith about 2 weeks ago.
Tennessee legend. That was super cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm
super happy that he's back, man. That was a great move by the university, being able to get him back in the fold. He's awesome.
Yeah, 100%, man. Folks can hear it in his voice.
He loves it.
Yeah,
that passion, the love, like that's all you want to hear, and that's what he's bringing to the table. So it's awesome.
JG and Swain, this is from Vol Nation with the NCAA giving players 5th years and some super senior opportunities, would either of you consider playing under hype if you could? Just asking. Yeah, I would consider it. Absolutely.
I'd consider it too, but my back, my back's hurting a little bit. Traps are hurting a little bit. Neck's a little sore. Took a lot of hits over the course.
I mean, if I was a senior, I would consider it, but not now, obviously. But
I thought we were talking about now. I don't know if we could get out there now.
No way.
No. If I was any transfer, and I had put this in one of my YouTube videos, if I was any transfer or any recruit, especially offensively, the place that I would want to go would be Tennessee, right? They kind of knocked out all the questions, whether it was, is this a college offense, reads wise? Are you going to be able to do this in NFL? Is this going to make for good NFL wide receivers, quarterbacks, offensive line wise? Are you guys really putting them in a position? Blah, blah, all that stuff I've heard. This offense that we have created and have ran this year is as NFL ready as most offenses in terms of concepts. Of course, there's some pre-snap things for quarterbacks that they can do, certain things. It's definitely a different game with using those big splits, right? You're not going to be able to do that in NFL. But conceptually, the certain things that we're doing now this year is way more accustomed to the NFL than ever.
If I was a recruit coming out last year, and again, I'm not going to get on here and lie. I've already explained what I look for when I was a recruit coming out. And the schools that stood out to me. And so I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, yeah, man, I would have come here. Last year's offense with the receiver play would have disqualified Tennessee in my eyes. This year's offense would have Tennessee getting a visit 100%.
For sure.
2022's offense would have Tennessee getting a visit for me. There were schools that I did not visit because of what I saw on film from their wide receivers. But just like you just said, some of the things that translates to the next level, you can see it. And I understand Tennessee had to answer that. They had to answer for that during recruiting. They made the adjustments. They improved. Kelsey Pope is doing a great job. It's why Tennessee was able to get Tristan Keys. It was the reason why Tennessee was able to have one of the best, if not the best, receiver class, like receiver groups in this entire class, because they did make those adjustments. So because of those adjustments, absolutely, I would take a visit and would be very interested in playing in this offense.
For sure.
Yeah. Hunsucker. I played with two other really good receivers, but these group of guys, man, they got a heck of opportunity. And you played with three dudes, all played in the NFL, and Palmer, Callaway, and Jennings. So you know what it's like to be a quarterback and have three guys that have different skill sets, but they all can go get it.
Yeah, no, these three guys are very special. And like you said, my three guys, Marquez, Palmer, and Juwan, they were special as well. These three guys just have a different skill set. I'd say Brazel was closer to those guys in the skill set in terms of going up and getting the ball. But speed-wise, these three guys fly. Like not to say Palmer or Quez or Juwan, but these guys, they're different level of speed. I feel like they're 4.3 speed. I feel like they're like the Jalen Waddle, Judy, Ruggs.
Jared.
Listen, those guys. Those guys are special. No, listen, those guys are special. But I'm saying speed. I'm saying speed. I know I'm saying speed. I'm not saying talent.
Waddle 4.2.
But speed-wise, you see these guys when you see them separate. Okay. I thought you were talking about talent. I was like, listen, I'm not going to sit there and throw them on the podium just yet. Those four, I was going to name 4 or 5 guys. Those 4 or 5 guys went first round. Yeah. But when you look at it in terms of speed, you see them stretching the field vertically, and you see them beating. Like Matthews beats guys by like 5-6 steps, and they're playing off coverage. Like these guys have special speed. Who knows what their 40 is? But their game speed and their ability with run after catch with the ball in their hands, I think is second to none. I think they're going to be really good players. I think they're young right now. Staley and Matthews are going to be great. They're going to be awesome. But Brazel, I can imagine Brazel going first, second round this year. So, I mean, we'll see when it's all said and done where those three guys get drafted, but they're 3 special players.
I got a comparison with three of those guys. Brazel probably is the hardest one to compare to a former Tennessee receiver, but I got a comparison for Staley. when I see Staley, and this is before your time, even before my time, Jared, but when I see Staley, I see a guy that could be like Cedric Wilson. Smaller, but can run routes, good feet, shifty, and tough. Like, made some tough catches. That third down conversion against Mississippi State, that was a tough play. That was a tough receiver making a play. And then Mike Matthews, I see Dante Stallworth. I see the explosion and the
Strong,
power,
too.
the strength, the way he finishes runs, the way he runs mad and angry. Like, I see Dante Stallworth and Mike Matthews. And then Browse, I'm still trying to give a comp to a Tennessee receiver in the past, because the closest thing I've come to is Justin Hunter.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know one that I was going to ask you about. Obviously, I'm still young and I don't know it all, but I thought you were going to say for Brazel, Peerless Price.
Oh no.
You don't see it?
No, they just different, man. Yo, Peerless was a route runner.
I know, but Brazel's game, like he ran, where was it? He ran a corner stop route and he got out his break. I think it was versus Georgia. And I'm like, that's special. For someone his size and speed, that's special. But Peerless probably had to harp on route running.
Peerless was shorter. And so for Brazel, it's a little bit harder to drop those hips because he is 6'5". And so I look at a Justin Hunter who was 6'4", and was an Olympic caliber high jumper. And you look at Brazel. You look at Brazel, and when it comes to high balls, like, hey man, you got no shot against Brazel on those high balls. And last year I used to always come on this show and like, yo, where's the high balls to Brazel? Where's the fades? And like, we're seeing some of those throws being made to Brazel to complement his jumping ability. But yeah,
you don't even have to throw it to him versus press. He's beating guys off man or off cover three. That Georgia game, the guy was 10 yards back off 10 yards. He went up and attacked that ball. It was crazy. He's a great player. I'm like, even from a quarterback size, you're like you want to throw 50-50 balls, but from that standpoint, and then he goes and makes the play, and you're like, all right, you got to listen. We might as well do it more.
His routes are better. His hand-eye coordination is a whole lot better. He's trusting his hands more. Last year, I thought he was more of a body catcher. This year, man, he's catching more with his hands, and he's doing a good job creating separation. So you can tell that Brazel's improved and gotten a whole lot better. He's making himself some money right now. Jared, it's been an hour and a half.
Well, it felt like 20 minutes.
Hey, it's been an hour and a half, my man. It's been an hour and a half.
Time flies, man. Especially when you're talking ball, talking Tennessee.
Absolutely, man. Hey, dude, thank you so much for filling in today and joining. Always welcome, man. Anytime you want, you're always welcome. And again, I will encourage everyone, go to YouTube, search Jared Gantano, Jay Gantano, subscribe, follow the Film Breakdown. Man, it's good to have you connected with this fan base. It's not easy playing football in Tennessee, especially when you're the quarterback. And you played through some tough times. One thing I can always say about you, dude, you cared about people. From your work off the football field, you played hard, you left it on the line. And, man, I'm glad that you're getting your flowers and getting your love that you deserve, man. So it's good to hear you, good to see you. And let's do it again, man. You're always welcome.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having me again, man. Much love always for you, and obviously a lot of love for that power, too.
That's Jared Gantano, Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. That is our time for today. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, Jared, whenever you're ready to make that move to Knoxville, I got Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty. She already ready to sell you a home and get you in Knoxville. So when you're ready, let us know. We got you taken care of. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. Peace and love. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. All right, Jared, man. Appreciate you, man.
Nice. Yeah, I thought it was the right thing. especially after. Just telling. I